YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for Gozyuger episode 30. Absolutely crazy that we're at episode 30 and I still feel like I'm waiting for the show to start to some degree. So this continued the arc where Ryuugi has left after losing his battle to Horu, and we have a new Yellow Ranger here. Guys, I'm the new Yellow Ranger! And I was pleasantly surprised that by the end of the episode we didn't bring Ryuugi back right away, but it seems like from the preview that'll be happening next episode, and I have some mixed feelings about that. This episode, generally, I think I enjoy about as much as last week in terms of at least something interesting is happening. Like, obviously, this, Mochi no-one monster was tied to the story with Goju Tyranno. But it also felt weird that we had this kind of big thing happen. Like in any other series, one of the Rangers leaving and being replaced would be huge. It doesn't really happen that often. And it is, I guess, a big deal by Gojuger standards, but it's all kind of put in the background to a degree to focus on the no-one monster that's a Mochi monster that's tied to where Horu is working this week. And something I did kind of like, kind of in I was laughing at it way, I don't know if it was intentional, but it did feel kind of meta in a way, because the new Yellow Ranger is talking about how you gotta take time out of life to enjoy tea, because apparently he comes from a tea planet, just randomly, a tea alien. I don't know, I don't think we're gonna explore any more of that, because I think he's gonna be gone after next week, but that's random. But that's his whole shtick. I feel like he's honestly Gojuger's Kamen Rider Legend. Like, he just looks like he's Legend's brother. I thought it was Legend for a second. But anyway, he has that whole point about, like, you have to take time to enjoy the little things. And they tie that into this idea of, why are we fighting the no-one monsters? Because they don't have rings. I'm like, that's kind of a good point. I kind of wish that was tied in narratively. Like, maybe we'd have a mix of, like, Red Rangers that we fight, and then the monsters, instead of being random Mochi monsters, would kind of be like another Rider monsters, where you would have, like, a monstrous Gingaman villain and they'd have a ring. Because it does feel kind of like a weird side quest. And it feels like there's this weird meta-commentary about taking time to enjoy filler episodes, which I don't disagree with. I feel like I harp on Sentai filler a lot, because I do. I think I'm just not a Toku filler guy. Like, I love me a good Supernatural filler episode, you know, almost any other filler episode besides Toku, especially when it's a series I'm not that into, and Gojuger's brand of filler just isn't particular for me. And even in series that are more filler-heavy, I think my problem with Gojuger's is it feels honestly like the Super Seasons in the Neo Saban era, where the filler nonsense is the priority. I wouldn't mind the filler if either they were a little bit fewer and far between, and they didn't take the front seat, and when we did main plots like this, it didn't feel like filler was so involved. But anyway, I did kind of like that, and I think that that is good because it's a good message. I mean, like, in terms of, it is sometimes nice to just enjoy being in the series and being with the characters, especially in this day and age of TV, when we have shorter episode counts. And I do miss 22 episode CW seasons where I felt like I spent a year with Barry Allen, and you had the episodes that didn't count so much and you were just fighting Gorilla Grodd. But for Gojuger, it doesn't quite work for me in terms of the series, but I did think that was kind of funny, and I did think it was kind of interesting, and as often with Gojuger, it felt like it was bringing up ideas, and that made me upset that it could be so much more of an interesting show, because I'm like, this is kind of interesting, this debate of, like, should we be fighting these no-one monsters? And also, outside of when our Tyranno Ranger character showed up, why have they not questioned that they're different than everyone else? Like, everyone else is a random character and they all fit as a team. Are they not going to talk about that? I hope they talk about that at some point, because they treat them like they're just normal ring warriors. And I don't know, there's just so much potential here. That's what drives me so crazy with that. But they tied the plot of the week storyline about learning that because Goju Tyranno, the new one, is like, I'm just going to fight you guys. And that was an interesting little wrinkle for a minute. And honestly, just quite interesting to see someone take the mantle, especially in this. And maybe this will happen again down the line, but I just remember there being rumors, like insistent rumors, that Blue was going to die and we were going to get a female Blue. I think that was the one. And I don't know. I just thought it was funny that we did get a Gojuger swap out. It just wasn't the one we were thinking. It could happen again later. But they tied the whole plot in to sort of teach him, like, these are valuable battles, and he's going to fight alongside them now. And that was interesting, kind of, in Gojuger's way. I mean, there was just way too much focus on the Mochi. Like, they did tie it to the main plot, but I'm like, man, this is such a big moment, and we're, like, wrapping it all around a Mochi filler episode. But then you end the episode with Ray coming out of a portal as Zenkaiger Black, and I forgot for a split second that he transformed into that last week. I'm like, oh my god. It's Zenkaiger Black. Is something interesting about to happen? And I'm like, oh, it's just Ray. And he, like, captured Tyranno. And then the preview shows Ryuugi back, and it seemingly spoils him transforming again. It's funny, it was a roller coaster because I'm like, I'm really surprised they didn't bring Ryuugi back in one episode, or at least have this guy give the Gojoogers the ring and they're going to be like, we're going to go find Ryuugi. Like, they kept him on, did this whole episode about how they might work with him now, and then we're going to throw it away. I'm going to wait to reserve full judgment. But after this episode, I didn't expect him to stay yellow for like 5 episodes or something. But it would have been cool for next week's episode to maybe run parallel whatever Ryugi's doing, like have his own little like Ryugi alone arc and kind of discover that he wants to come back, and then run that parallel with an episode where what would it be like if this guy was part of the team? Like, that's worth exploring for one episode after you do all this setup. I just think it's kind of a shame. So, yeah, feeling the same largely about Gozyuger. What did you think of the episode? Let me know in the comments as always. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.